Hey, welcome everybody, Chief Instructor Jay Ackerman. The discussion this week that's come up is we have so many new students, so many of you have joined the beginning of this year, and a lot of you have asked, hey, why don't you do a tutorial describing all the seminars that you guys do here and what's involved and how they came about? And I thought, what an absolutely great idea. So here we are on the jetway leading up into our plane. So let's go in the plane and let's start discussing what we do here. So welcome in. So here we are. Sitting next to me on my left is
Tony Sprague, head instructor in Glendale.
Josh Ackerman, head instructor in Phoenix.
So now this is the safest airlines ever. I feel very comfortable flying this airlines right now.
Should.
And for rightly so, right?
Well, you trained us well, Jay.
So here we are in the lower level of our amazing Tactical Black House of Booze, the state-of-the-art building that we have constructed here. And we spent most of last summer
I'll put a lot of time
putting a lot of time into this amazing replica.
Months into it.
Right?
Months into it, yeah.
So as you can see, we've made a really cool replica of an airline where we can do all kinds of training for our professionals or for our students here. And we had a blast last year doing, we have one more to go for the spring, and then we'll come back in the fall. And so we want to talk today about all the things that we create here. This is really kind of our fantasy land to do what we need to do for our first responders and for our students alike to get them the best training, the best scenarios that we can recreate. And over the 20 years, we have really evolved this into an amazing place to train for everybody. So let's who wants to start? What do we want to talk about here? Because there's dozens of seminars, so let's pick out maybe the top 5 or 6 for students to do. And I don't want to forget, don't let me forget to talk about the fact that we have a lot of corporate people that come into our seminars, and we have lots of people who have asked us about doing special occasions, a big birthday that's coming up or something special for them with a group of people they want to do. So that's also available. So
there's 2 that come to mind, and one of the first ones is I know a seminar that has been evolving for the last since we've been doing this is our Street 1 seminar, our verbal de-escalation seminar. And this is great for team building, for corporations, for individuals that want to get a group together. And that's a seminar that focuses on how to de-escalate situations before having to get physical with somebody. And that's such an important point, because if you can keep yourself away from any type of physical situation and walk away from a situation, that's one of the most important things. And having the skills and the confidence to be able to do that is of utmost importance. And learning how to have good spatial boundaries, have a good presence about yourself, and actually some of the hardest things for people is to actually get their voice to a level that you look like you mean business, and verbally backing somebody down from a physical fight, for somebody trying to grab you, you name it. And it's not just a fight in self-defense scenarios. It is a thing that you can use in your personal life, for family, at work, for coworkers. And it also teaches you guys how to listen to the situation at hand and how to not just blurt out anything, to actually verbally deal with the specific situation that's given to you guys.
yeah, one of the toughest things for people to do is to speak in front of people. Mm-hmm. But the skills are lifetime skills, and they work, like you just said, not just in a self-defense on the street atmosphere, but they also work when you need them in your own profession and at home with people and relatives, and sometimes your own family. I don't need to tell everybody this. Your own family's the toughest people to deal with. So this you learn what presses your buttons, and you learn how to not get overly amped up about things, which is the whole purpose of the training, is avoid as much as you can physical confrontations, unless your life's at stake or a loved one.
Yeah, I like to say that if you're 2 ends of the spectrum, if you're just someone looks at you the wrong way and you're ready to be physical, this teaches you how to rein that back and be assertive with it. And if someone is way passive, cannot get into any type of verbal confrontation whatsoever, and it scares them to death, it teaches you how to take it up to that assertive level. So either way, it's teaching you how to meet yourself in the middle in that spectrum.
And of course, Tony, at the end of that, famously, what happens at the end
no
of that?
matter what you say or do, you get in fights with us in the bulletmen suits. So safe environment, but you get to practice this stuff on, we fight back, but you get to practice this stuff on us, and throwing kicks and headbutts and elbows on targets and attackers that are moving, and it's a great experience, definitely empowering.
So let's talk about that a little bit, because what I think most don't understand is that you can practice on a pad, you can hit a pad all day long. Pads don't move the way people move, and so to be able to blueprint the simplest of things, like knees to the groin, elbows to striking places that are vulnerable. That's a skill, and when you have a moving target, a real live moving target to perform those on, it builds a proficiency level that you just can't do just striking pads. That's why everything we do has to be scenario based at the end of the day, to blueprint all the muscle memory that we're trying to get into people. And of course, always only if their life is at stake or there's something, or a family member that is being threatened. Otherwise, we're always on the side of walk away from whatever you can. But that's what makes that seminar so great. And that seminar, we call it Street 1, and of course
Street 2, Street 3, and different iterations of it.
And of course, the differences are just the training and the advancement in the different levels of what we do. Okay, so what else?
Brings to mind rape prevention for the ladies, which is definitely empowering and a must. My mom actually trains in here. I think she's on her 4th rape prevention seminar, and I just saw her, just grow. And
that's
awesome
that's also a great point, because we have, for the 20 plus years we've been doing this here, I mean, we have, some people have done some of these seminars dozens and dozens of times, because continuing to put yourself in that moment, no matter what, no matter how many times you've done it, being in that moment of adrenaline, and overcoming the fear and overcoming the reality of that moment is the greatest training there is. Priceless, yes. So go ahead. So your mom has done this several times?
Oh yeah, and just the confidence that she's built since stepping on the mat and then putting it to test, like Jay mentioned during the seminars, is awesome. Little strange getting headbutted by your mom, but at the same time, I couldn't ask for a better place for her to be, and obviously for me to be a part of her training and everything else. Can't say enough about that.
And so the really great thing about that too is there's several different ways that we do that seminar, again, by experience and by level of training and how many people are in that training, because of course we're at the lower level of the house right now, but upstairs is a full house with full bedrooms that can be set up. So on several occasions we do the seminar up there, and it's actually somebody who has broken into your house, and nothing could be more adrenalizing than that.
And you talk to every female that does this, and the resounding comment is, I can't believe how my brain just went to, this is a real attack on somebody. And it's so important to be able to blueprint that in, because your brain is now saying, this is real, I got to fight back, I got to fight as hard as I can. And God forbid the situation ever came up for real, you're going to be there. You've done it. You've done the training before with it. And I know that depending, like you said, on the level of who's coming in, sometimes these seminars, you're always going to have the fight in the seminar at the end, but sometimes it's a lot more verbal stuff that we'll do, and stopping the things beforehand with their scenarios verbally. Every now and then, depending on the group that we have, it's going to be more weapon focused, so defending against somebody that has a knife or a gun, and taking it to that level. And I guess the overall point is no one rape prevention seminar is the same. We mix it up, and that's why they come back and they do them over and over and over again, because they're always like, what are we going to do this time? What are we going to do this time? And the excitement about it is awesome.
And of course, creating, we can have somebody, whether it is somebody who is a student, whether it's somebody who is a first responder that got into a situation and said, hey, look, we need to recreate this for training purposes. And if it is somebody who's a first responder with us, it will trickle down, or will get put in, because obviously if it's something that they're trying to do to recreate, it probably is something that we can recreate for everybody. So a lot of the ideas come from the realistic situations that occur. So that's the purpose of the scenario-based training, is to be able to do that. So what else we can talk about here?
Oh man, home invasion, you name it. We've been
so let's talk about home invasion. So we talked about that this is a home that we've created here. Same idea. Go ahead, explain what home invasion is.
Yeah, you can picture hearing your door get kicked in the middle of the night, alarm going off. having a split second to decide under stress what you're going to do in the moment. Without a game plan, as we know, without practice and muscle memory repetition, nearly impossible. So give people the opportunity to come up with a game plan to practice this stuff under stress. God forbid somebody were to break in your house, you definitely want to know what to do, where the kids are at, and have the ability to get your family to safety as soon as possible.
So you just mentioned lots of components and maybe things that people don't even think about. So it's not just the fact of, hey, somebody breaks in my house, and lots of people say, I have weapons, I have this, I have that. Well, do you practice? You have the weapons stored safely. How do you get to them? Do you have kids? Are you crossing the kids? I mean, there's just so many components and levels to this before you even think about defending yourself. We have them describe the situation to a mock 911 call at the end, and a lot of times you see the adrenaline just surging through people. To describe what happened, to try and explain where they are and what part of the house they're at, and just it's an amazing adrenaline seminar, but just the muscle memory of it is incredible. Our fight analysis seminar that we just did, one of the most popular and most sought after from expert. I mean, we just had people in here who've been training with me for 20 years in here that are some of the best technical fighters that are in the world today, and they come and they do these seminars because, just like every athlete these days, we film everything. All the professional athletes have all that access to all kinds of video correcting today. It's so scientific, and we take that approach with it. And so you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, we're always running around the mat making comments, obviously keeping the classes safe and everything, and there's something about seeing yourself do it. So we're being recorded, seeing your footwork, the way you throw punches, the way you're recoiling, just the ability to generate power. I see a lot of improvement. I think hands down everybody on the mat increased their power by a good percentage. So just again, something about seeing yourself, being able to practice it while the instructors are running around the room, light bulbs just going off all over the place.
So a lot of times the physical corrections that we make verbally to people don't a lot of times they work, and a lot of times they're trying to correct things, but they just have to have that visual of what it is.
Everybody learns their own way.
Everybody learns, most people learn from seeing and from hearing, and from feeling. Those are the three ways kinesthetically, but that really puts it all together, and so at the end of that seminar, Josh sends everybody a copy of their video, so you can keep that for reference, and so you have something to build on always, no matter what. And I know that it's an absolute great way to learn tool. People get much more out of that. Once they've done that, they come back and their fighting skills increase by tenfold usually after they do it, and that's why they do it over and over again. All of us, no matter how long you've been doing it, the timing, footwork, we know everything starts from the ground up. So the first thing we do is film their feet and see how they're moving and how they're turning and how they're transferring their weight, because there's no athletic skill that there is for any sport that doesn't require that transfer of weight. And so a lot of people are amazed when they hear us talking about getting up on that heel back, heel up, and seeing that hip turn over for the first time. It's an amazing seminar, and I really like that seminar.
That's one of my favorites.
It's one of my favorites too. All of them are great, but that one in particular, because the light bulb goes on for so many people who have not done it before. So we're kind of running out of time, so let's. I know we have the active shooter, which is just nothing like what we do with that, to give people some sort of skills to survive in the worst of worst cases. And we can pretend this doesn't happen and that there's not a need for it, but we know that it's almost an everyday occurrence. You don't even want to say it, but it is. And that it happens everywhere there's a soft target, and that there's no way that it should be going on with one person coming in and being able to take out a whole group of people. So training is the key to this. We know the first responders are going to get there, but what happens in that 2 or 3 minute time frame? So you want to?
Yeah, it's having that between that time frame. Can I run? Can I get out of the building? And then obviously, if I'm faced, with the threat face to face, can I fight back? Can I do something that will make a difference? And the skills provided in that seminar anybody can learn how to do it. It's not a complicated process, and don't get me wrong, it's a life-threatening scenario, but the ability to understand what to do if you can fight back, anybody can understand how to do it, and it's really how much fight you have in you at that time.
Which we're seeing, I mean, in today's...
Over and over again, people fighting back.
Yeah, and unfortunately, some of them have lost their lives, but they've also saved a whole bunch of lives, and that's the idea here. If we're going to be executed, I know if I'm going to be executed, I'm going to go down fighting. Everybody in this room is going to go down fighting to save their family, our loved ones. So that's the point of this: is that one person or two people cannot come in and take out a group of people without a fight if they can't get out. And of course, obviously, if there's a way to get out of the situation and not be there, but it happens too quickly, and we want to give people the mentality and the skills, and there are some skills that are available to use, which we've been teaching for decades and applied. And so we know that by statistics that 70 or 80% of these people, when a fight is brought to them, end up taking their own lives, or the fight is stopped at that point. So we all agree on that. So let's talk about what we're doing here. We're taking our first level here coming up. I don't want to give too much away, but it's you want to talk about a little bit, Tony, what we've created outside of here?
Oh, as far as the
main floor here, we're going to turn that into a couple of weeks.
A whole club scene altogether. I can't even imagine it being dark, and like Jay said, how fast these things happen. Without training, we're going to shave off time. Those who put themselves in the moment when something bad like that happens through training, have much more likelihood to survive, and then to be able to help others around you in a situation like that, not panic or freeze, has to be practiced. But yeah, the club is amazing. Big huge bar. You wouldn't tell that it's a training center and not a club itself. So we're going to put you in that specific environment, and that's important to match your surroundings with the scenario that we're building, and it's just nothing like it altogether. So if you haven't seen what we've done in the plane, like we mentioned, home invasion, rape prevention, just wait till you see this club scene. It's outstanding. So looking forward to it myself.
Nah, there's not so much to add on that. Because I don't want to start talking, because I'm going to start giving it away. Yeah, because I'm getting all excited thinking about all the stuff that we're getting into do it. So I have to not say anything.
We know we have one that's going to start in June, and several others that are throughout the summer, and we know they're all going to fill up very quickly. So if you're interested, talk to us. And so I know we're running out of time here, so let's talk about some of the seminars that we do that I think that a lot of people don't know, that we do tons of corporate seminars and private seminars for different groups of people, first responders and such, and private people. So if you're a corporation out there and you want the greatest team building exercise that you can do, these seminars are life-changing and they're team building at the same time, two of the best things that you can put together for people. So I can't tell you, if you want to do something that is of that nature, how important it is to try one of our seminars. They're so realistic and they build such character with people, and like I said, the team building is second to none in what we do. So we want to make that point that we're available to do that. And we've had a lot of people come to us recently and say, I have a special occasion coming up. One person talked about a 75th birthday. He's been training with us for 20 years. And he is so endeared to the training. He said, I can't think of turning 75 without having a group of 40 or 50 people come in here and do one of these seminars. And I said, that's awesome. We would be honored to do that for you. So there it is. If you have a special occasion and you have a group of people that you think would enjoy, which we know they would, this kind of training, certainly talk to us. We can accommodate that too. And I don't think a lot of people know that we can do stuff like that.
And it's a blast, no pun intended, obviously a serious undertone to everything that we do, but we could definitely party as well. So looking forward to having you guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, is to have fun, have it safe, but also, again, for a purpose. There's nothing like the life-changing, saving, muscle memory skills that all of our great instructors have the knowledge to teach here. And we talk about that knowledge. I mean, Tony, you've been training since 2006. Josh, before you were 6.
Yeah,
So
3 years
you're-
old, so
you're-
33 years already. Yeah,
So I think you have a little bit of time wrapped
Little-
up.
little
and,
bit. A little bit.
And yeah, I've got some time invested in it too. So, well, thanks for letting us share that with all this with you today, and hopefully share the video, and especially to somebody who's looking for possibly this great team building corporate type of seminar that we talked about. And if you're not a member, come on in. We would certainly appreciate having you and be honored to have you here. And I'm going to give them our tag with our website.
Oh yeah, 3 Valley locations here in Phoenix. There's Glendale and Chandler as well. Make sure you get on the website and come in, try a free trial class. We'd love to have you. Appreciate you watching the video as well.
No, absolutely. Just keep in mind, you guys don't need any prior experience. Doesn't matter what type of shape you're in. We're here to help you guys. We want everybody to be able to come in and learn at their pace. And I'm sure you guys will have a really good time coming in and train. So definitely check us out.
And we got Michael also, Michael Bowles, that's down in Chandler, that's got almost 15 years experience doing this as well. So we are covered all over the Valley. So like these guys said, don't hesitate, come on and check us out. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.